This is critical. It is literally a question of life or death, a choice left for us to make by an action that we must soon take. Please hear me out. Greetings. I know that my last offering was very long, too long for many, so many of you may not have listened to the entire presentation. As a result, you may have missed the most crucial and pressing part, the last 11 minutes and 41 seconds beginning at 1:08:33. In this section, I reveal the answer to the question posed in the title of the audio, what is source creating, and how do we figure into its process? Because of the severity of the circumstance we are in, whether you are aware of it or not, I'm sharing that last 11 minutes and 41 seconds of the audio here. In this section, Source tells us who we are and what our function is to be in relation to its creation of a new earth and new social order. It tells us what we must do now to ensure our destiny, the well-being of humanity, the well-being of our co-inhabitants of the planet, the well-being of Earth. Before I begin the audio, please note a few of the reasons I have been so insistent and detailed in proving the existence and operation of the 7-stage universal law, and thereby the accuracy of my prophecy. It is so that you can verify for yourselves its existence, operation, and ability to compel the very planet to conform to its pattern, so that you can come to see for yourselves Source at work, its power, ability, and intelligence, and as a consequence, develop faith in its prophecy and promises. A faith not based upon unfounded declarations, but based upon what you yourselves can observe and bear witness to. A faith centered in what you know. By way of my videos, I have provided you the evidence to secure your faith. What follows is critical. It is Source's promise and instruction. Here it is. First, I will reveal the full significance and ultimate expression of the seed idea. In doing so, I will give full answer to the question governing this discourse. What specifically is Source creating and how do we figure into its process? Second, I will share with you a task we are to perform according to the law that will make possible the full expression of the seed idea and the birth of the new world. As we have witnessed, Source utilizes specific people to carry out the particular functions necessary for materializing its will. In addition to the new earth and new world Source is creating, it will also birth a new people to lead and care for its new creations. This peculiar people is signified by the 2nd stage seed idea, this is our first Black president. In its earliest phase of development, the 3rd stage of generation, the seed idea materialized in the form of Barack Obama, the United States' first Black president. This was a literal manifestation. However, recall that the 2nd stage seed idea is a model, an abstraction that symbolizes the essence of what is to materialize in its most refined form at the 7th stage. Find the cause, find the future. This essence takes on different forms according to its stage in the process. In its latter, most refined and complete form, its 7th stage manifestation, it does not materialize as a person, but as a people. In my 2002 book, When Jesus' Kingdom Came, I revealed this people. Quote, "The new time which began in 1992 with a series of top-of-class cataclysms, natural disasters, serving to announce the rift or break in the continuum of time, brought with it a most significant response to the long-cried prayers of suffering, despair, and hope for deliverance of a people in a more desperate circumstance than that of Israel. For the Source has seen fit to send forth in the winds of this disturbance a promise of redemption, a new covenant. The recipient of this new covenant is that group chosen by Source to take upon itself the responsibility of caretaker of the planet and wayshower of its peoples. As Jesus' kingdom was first offered to the house of Israel, this new time is first offered to those known as the Black people of African ancestry. They are the chosen of the source to inherit this new earthly kingdom, this new heavenly time. To you, the Black people of African ancestry, note that this promise cannot be taken from you. But as with the house of Israel, you can refuse it, and it will be given to another nation bringing forth the fruits thereof. You refuse it by not acknowledging the source's offer. You forfeit it by not submitting to the conditions of inheritance. In your decision to commit to this marriage or not, you must consider that you aren't the only beneficiaries of this arrangement. For it is by you and you alone that at this time during this period of existence, the greatest benefits and the most profound knowledge contained in and composing this period of time can be extracted from the opportunities it will present. You are uniquely suited to this task. It is only by you that the greatest good for all peoples can be obtained and ensured. End of quote. It is Black people of African ancestry, once enslaved, colonized, and to this day suppressed and oppressed by the regime of white supremacy, Black inferiority, whom Source has found worthy and deemed fit to lead and manage its new earth and new world. It is by us that Source intends to materialize its kingdom on earth. It is by us that Source seeks to create a loving and just world, a clean, healthy, and rarefied earth that all may abound in its will and thrive. We are to be the perfection of Source's second stage intent. Find the cause. This is our first Black president. Find the future. Black leadership and caretaking of Source's kingdom. Obviously, there is a process we must undergo to attain this perfected state. To guide you through this process, the remaining 3.5 stages of the 7-stage universal law is my function. That's why I bring this instruction. For now, at this 4th stage, you must be made aware of our destiny. Finally, there is a task we must perform. We must stop the disintegrative force at the appropriate time before it completely destroys our nation, leaving us with nothing by which to construct a new world, Source's kingdom. Plainly speaking, Trump's first term must be his last term. By the end of his first term, he will have served his purpose. As you will see, this task is not rooted in politics, but in the universal law. Returning to the law as published 21 years ago in my book, And Now There is Aquarius, I warn at the 4th stage, quote, this is the point of crisis, the point at which the disintegration process of the existing organism, the United States and its world order, reaches its climax, releasing the life force in a violent ejaculation resulting in the liberation of the constituent parts. The life force is actually only partially released. After the first ejaculation, Trump's election, the vibratory rate of the organism slows down, the initial outburst having served to awaken the organism. Then there is a second surge in the vibratory rate, Trump's candidacy for re-election, with the organism conscious of the impending release of the life force. It is at this point that the ejaculation must be arrested, stopped, for if it is not, then the result will be the complete disintegration, obliteration of the organism. End of quote. The first ejaculation or initial outburst I explained in part 1 as the election of Trump, which awakened many to the impending destruction of the United States and its world order. As I warned, after this initial outburst, signaling Trump's first election and first term, a, quote, second surge in the vibratory rate with the organism, citizens of the United States and the world, conscious of the impending release of the life force. It is at this point that the ejaculation must be arrested, stopped. End of quote. The second surge is the build-up to his re-election. At this point, we have realized the havoc Trump has created, is creating, and will create within the nation and across the globe. The law warns us that, quote, it is at this point, end of quote, at the end of his first term, that Trump must be stopped. He must not be re-elected, for if he gets a second term with his innate destructive tendency, the United States and the American world order will be no more, and we will have lost our opportunity for rebirth, a reorganization of society in accord with the will of Source. Trump must not be reelected. That is our first order of business, to vote him out of office. Additionally, we can't afford to elect a candidate to return us to the pre-Trump era United States. Remember, this is a transition period where the old is discarded to make way for the new. The planet is transitioning from one age into another unique period of time, and we are to create a new social order to complement it. Therefore, we must make a grand change. We must elect a candidate with a truly unique vision, one who is not a centrist or moderate. It is not the time for that. Do not let this opportunity to align with Source pass. We must do all in our power to ensure that a progressive wins the general election, that he or she beats Trump. In closing, I have presented the evidence proving human conformity to stages 2 and 3 of the 7-stage universal law. In part 1, I presented the evidence of human conformity to stage 4. Thereby, I have again substantiated the law's existence and dominion over the earth. I have demonstrated the presence of an intelligence orchestrating the entire process. In 1992, Source intervened in the evolution of the planet and in the affairs of humanity. Its purpose is to recreate the planet and to reorganize the world so that humanity embodies its law and order. To do so, it is cleansing the earth, manipulating the weather, changing climates, and reconfiguring land masses. To do so, it has chosen specific actors to fulfill specific functions. When the time comes for us to make the decision of whether or not to accept the role Source has determined we have earned, the masses of our people should know of the divine intervention, should be aware that Source is here, and should know that upon completion of our rebirth through the remaining stages of a 7-stage universal process, that we are to be the leaders and caretakers of Source's new creation. It is during the remaining years of this 4th stage that they must be made aware. That is why I'm offering proof of the divine intervention, and I'm spreading this proof far and wide. But I cannot do it alone. We need your help. It's imperative that you proactively help to spread the word. As I explained in my 5-minute video, I know this material for some is dense, yet I'm laying a foundation upon which to build a new civilization. Therefore, the foundation must be sound and reliable. This is a crucial time, a once-in-a-thousands-of-years opportunity. This is the time our ancestors sought, prayed, and strove for. This is the time we have yearned for. You must recognize it. You must acknowledge it. You must be ready to move with it. Study the material I've provided. Form study groups if that will help. And by all means, spread the word. We also need your continued financial support to keep this fledgling enterprise going and growing to meet the ever-expanding need of a mission to materialize Source's kingdom on earth. Spread the word, support the mission, vote Trump out of office. Do not vote for a candidate who seeks to return us to a pre-Trump America. Vote for a candidate with a unique vision so that when our time comes, we have a basis born of the new era emerging that may need to be tweaked, but upon which we can co-create with Source a new, divinely guided, blessed, and secured civilization. Next, part 3. Until then, blessings, courage, strength, and resolve. Peace.